8 days to go until workers start totaling the ballots in early voting, proving to already be a popular option across the tri-state, particularly for New Yorkers. We know more than 250,000 people have voted early in the city alone.
Yeah, it comes as both candidates make a final push for the White House. Vice President Harris in Philadelphia yesterday, while former President Trump rallied at Madison Square Garden. Both candidates will be in battleground states today.
I've been seeing a lot of those I voted stickers, right? They're popping up out there. And our Eyewitness News reporter, Phil Tate, live inside a polling location this morning on the Upper West Side. Phil, looks like it's busy there.
Yeah, it's day 3 of early voting and the polls are open right now. We're here at the Museum of Natural History. Many voters are making their way right through there. They come and they're greeted by a few poll workers and they come down this line. They're greeted by this gentleman right here and then they're directed as to where they are to go next. Now, this is the final stretch of the race. Both of these candidates that many of them are voting for are not going down without a fight. Vice President Harris, former President Donald Trump on the campaign trail trying to drum up as much support from voters as the countdown is on to Election Day. Now, Harris and Trump both in front of large crowds making their final case to voters in this home stretch of the race to the White House. It was a homecoming of sorts for Trump in his home state of New York, packing out Madison Square Garden to the brim. His close allies taking to the stage. Meantime, Harris is in the battleground state of Pennsylvania, making several stops in the city of brotherly love. Now, both candidates not mincing words with so much on the line and Election Day right around the corner.
We are focused on the needs of the American people as opposed to a Donald Trump who spends full time looking in the mirror, focused on himself.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out, get out. I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country. And I will bring back the American dream.
While the countdown is on to Election Day, early voting got underway on Saturday. Now, across the 5 boroughs, for those who have already showed up to the polls, more than 70,000 in both Brooklyn and Manhattan. Total more than 250,000 New Yorkers hit their polling sites in just 2 days. Now, we'll be watching these numbers closely as voters aren't just voting for their candidate of choice, rather policies that support the issues that are important to them. I spoke to some early voters. Let's take a listen.
It's very important that we have the ability to speak our voices and vote for what we believe in as a country and stay united to have a single voice.
I'm a naturalized citizen. It's the second time I'm voting, and I think it's a very important one. I want to get it out of the way, and I have a busy schedule. I don't want to spend too much time in line.
Now you're taking a live look here at this polling site. Nationwide, over 41 million Americans have already showed up for early voting. Our city actually set a record as on day 1 of early voting, 140,000 folks have already come out. Now polling sites just like this one will be open until 8 p.m. We are live on the Upper West Side this morning. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Phil, thanks so much for that. Now to the growing outrage this morning following an offensive joke from a comedian at yesterday's Trump rally at MSG. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe made a comment calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. The joke immediately faced backlash from politicians on both sides. Vice President Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez condemning the comments.
People in Puerto Rico are citizens. They pay taxes and they serve in the military at almost a higher rate than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it's like super upsetting. Obviously, it's super upsetting to me. My family is from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican.
The board of directors for the National Puerto Rican Day Parade also released a statement saying, shockingly, people choose to speak with ignorance about Puerto Rico, spewing garbage statements. This insult will not diminish who we are or what we represent. Former President Trump's campaign also released a statement distancing themselves from the comments as well. The campaign saying the joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or the campaign. Eyewitness News is helping you get ready for Election Day coming up. ABC's John Santucci was inside the garden last night with how it was different from other Trump rallies he's attended and how events this week can make an impact in the final days of the election. Our election guide takes a closer look at the presidential race and the big local races as well. You can watch it anytime on our streaming platforms.
And the crisis in the Middle East.